Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to a brand new episode of Gift Since 92. Give you guys the latest and exclusive content on music, entertainment, news, and inspirational quotes by me. The Queen's back at it once again, and I'm here to talk about. It's going to be a my thoughts video. So I left off talking about like the state of the music business. Where I'm seeing music being headed into like a new direction. We already know about, like I said, this climate now is like R&B and trap. So the sound is really R&B and trap, that vibey type of music. So really, it's like this. It is what it is. But I have done research, and I have, like I said, even my last video, which I talked about Anne-Marie. Perfect example how Anne-Marie's sound was very distinct. It was very, just eclectic. She really pushed the artistry, and she really pushed herself as an artist, and really how it's so frustrating that a talent like Anne-Marie, people really failed around her, and she was already established at that point, but she was still trying to gain momentum. She was still, trying to like maintain her signature sound, which other artists, they were influenced by her signature sound because she worked with Rich Harrison. And then, like I said, she pretty much was fighting to maintain her signature sound, and she had issues with like her label, and it was just a hot ass mess. And I think that, it was really frustrating to see like Anne-Marie's sound was like unique, and she already had a revolutionary sound which she created with Rich Harrison. But since other artists, like I said, they kept using the sound that she already created, she really felt frustrated, and really, like I said, the music business did her wrong and dirty. So this is going to be a my thoughts video about artists nowadays being creative, and it's okay to be a creative, but you want to be original as well. And this is going to be a little rant video too, here and there. I've been noticing, especially with like these artists being influenced by artists before them, it's okay to be influenced by other artists as well, especially when you're an up and coming artist. Because hell, like I said, I'm an artist myself. I'm inspired by many different kinds of artists, and I put into my artwork. But one thing I try to do is push myself and push the envelope of like how I create my artwork, my paintings, and especially my paintings, because while I was in college, I was always trying to like, figure out how I want to like make my artwork come to life and have a like distinct look, the image and the style of it. Although I was always inspired by other artists and I got ideas, I've always have credited them and acknowledged their, like I said, that the style and the originality of their work. And I've always had respect for artists that really like inspire me to keep painting and doing my artwork. The same can be done for other artists. Now you have artists that have, like I said, did the groundwork from the ground up, and they have been inspired by plenty of great artists before them, and they have always have said like, listen, this artist, like really heavily I'm influenced by this artist, but I've also had wanted to push myself and be the artist that I always want to be for myself. And really that's a sign of like respect, and that's a sign of like, shows that you really care about the craft, and you really care about your work and the art, and you're not trying to chase trends. You really want to set trends. Now I have been seeing some things, and I'm not going to mention any names. This is my opinions. My opinions only. You guys are welcome to comment down below how you guys feel. It's just too much, excuse me, it's too much of this. Like, I understand now, right now, like, everybody's doing trap music. That's the trap sound. However, when it comes to like artists always being compared to other artists, that's cool, and there's nothing wrong with that. But they should have their own like, innovation, and they should also have their own like originality as well. Do something different, push outside the box. When I'm talking about in terms of like the sound and having the sound, these artists pretty much sound alike. They sound alike, pretty much sounds alike. And even, like I said, the case, going back to Anne-Marie's case, there were artists that really were influenced by her sound. But the thing is, the sound was similar, And like I said, you know, you can hear the influence, but one thing, the difference is they also, even though they overdid it with the sound, with Amerie's sound, I can say this, and this is my opinion, people can have the right to disagree or agree. They really put it, they really had their identity in the sound of the music. What I'm saying is being specific. You could tell who's singing on the record. Like, you know, like another artist, like other artists have like been influenced by Amerie's sound, the producer that they had worked with, Rich Harrison, right? But they made sure that it was them singing on the sound, and they didn't sound like her, exactly like her. You know, they wanted to be, you know, they wanted to have their own identity while they were singing on the records, and pretty much singing on, like, you know, the harmonies and melodies. But for this current generation, what I'm saying is you have artists that, like I said, are influenced by other artists, but they sound exactly like the other artists. They sound exactly like how the singing style is the same. The singing style is the same, though it's just the falsetto sound is the same. Everything is the same and the same. And then they get always, it's like, well, this is like the female version of whatever are the artists, or this is the male version of whatever other artists. I'm like sitting up here like, you know what? It's too much of that, because I'm really concerned about that. And it's nothing wrong with being influenced by other artists, but I just feel like I really don't really know. I just feel like I don't really get to hear like the artists, their own creativity, their own input, because everybody sounds the same. I mean, literally. And sometimes I'll be listening to so-and-so's track. I'm like, oh, is that so-and-so? But then it's somebody else. I'm like, oh, that artist sounds just like so-and-so. So it can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. It's 50-50, because really, it's like I said, some of this music right now, it sounds okay in some ways, but then it gets to sound redundant and it sounds the same. And then I don't want these artists years from now to sound generic, just put out any old thing, you know, not really pushing the envelope in music. That's why I feel like these artists also, they need to have like that artist development. They need to have artist development, period. Now they can do their own groundwork work too, because I know artist development back in the day, labels really did push heavily on artist development. That's how artist development, like artists, they were able to study like artists that they, you know, really admire, and like their influences in their music, and they studied the greats. But they also made sure to hone in their own skills, their techniques, and their sound, and made sure to say, okay, I am who I am. I can't be somebody else because there's only one. That is what I've been noticing too. And even, like I said, you know, the ins and outs of the music business. Like I said, I'm not a singer, I'm not a rapper, you know, I'm an artist myself, but I do art, I make art, I create art, but I am aware of like the music business because I've supported artists throughout the years. My favorite artists, I have like a whole bunch of their CDs in my collection, and I also do keep up to date with like what's going on in music and the current wave of new music and all that good stuff. But my thing is, it's just, I don't really think that it's really cool to always just, it's like, to me, it's one thing when you're inspired by somebody else, but it's another thing when you just copy everything from them. And I know, like I said, people are, you know, like I said, are original nowadays, and some people, they're not as original, but I know it just goes 50-50. That's what I'm saying, you know. But it's very sad that, you know, I get very concerned for these artists, because I don't want them to end up being, like I said, so hot at one point, right, and then struggle to maintain longevity. And really, with this R&B trap sound, it's really generic. You know, some of it is generic, but some of it is good. I did mention like some of the production of like the trap sound and R&B. It does add an extra flavor in terms of like artists are incorporating another sound to go with the trap and R&B, you know, and also being able to like, you know, experiment with their music and not being afraid to push the envelope. And really, that also sets artists apart from their peers, because really when you study music and you have a good ear of music, 9 times out of 10 you're not going to put yourself in a box. 9 times out of 10 you'll be able to listen to like other like genres of music and just create whatever you want to create. That's why it's better for artists to be independent artists, because when you sign a contract on a record label, it's a business. It's pretty much like, really it's like you're putting out music that is marketing to the masses of mainstream music. And basically what you're doing too, it's like you do have creative control in some ways, in some shape or form, but it's like you also, you're following the trends. And I think that really, because I've been watching other YouTubers, and I've been watching like, their concerns for like the music business as well, and their own opinions about how today's music is the same thing. It's not the same as like this era of music. Is okay, but it doesn't give you that thrill. It doesn't give you like that. It just doesn't. It's just not. There's not enough soul. So I've been making sure too that I've seen people's feedback and making sure like, okay, cool. We're on the same page, and even though I may not agree with some things, I do acknowledge and respect other people's opinions. But I've been noticing that, even a lot of the today's music, it's just the same thing, same old, same content, same like hook, same beat, same production. I'm like, there are plenty of dope producers. They are versatile and they make some really great music. We gotta also support like up and coming new producers that also have a good ear of music too, and they're not like limited in one sound. They're not limited in one box. We have to do it, because I even mentioned like other producers, like the great producers, like they changed the game of music, and they changed the face of music because they brought a sound like no one has ever heard before. They were already in the lab, in the studio, creating, experimenting, making sure that they stood themselves apart from the rest. And I think when I hear artists like, that I grew up with, how it was very frustrating for him or her that they had to fight for their art, and even though people did love their sound, it was almost like at the same time they would just keep using it and not really not crediting them, not, just, it's almost like it's really messed up, because I think that artists should be able to be, creatively like in the zone, and sorry, and have the freedom to make sure that they are able to like, just carve a lane and be the next, version of them, be the next like individuality of them, because they can't duplicate or recreate another artist's success. There's not an artist's success, but an artist's like catalog, because there's only one individual. So all of this, like this artist is like the next blah blah blah, and now I understand that part about the like version of like the gender roles and stuff like that, but like this artist is like the female version of this artist, and this artist is like the male version of this artist. I get that, but the next of, okay, perfect example, I'll give you a name. Let's just say Sally. Let's just say if I said Sally is the next Maya. Sally can't be the next Maya, because Sally is Sally and Maya is Maya. There's only one Sally and there's only one Maya. To say Sally is the next Maya, or to say Maya is the next Sally, that's not good. You can't be the next of somebody else, because there's only one of you. You gotta be the next of you. You gotta be the next of you, and that's that. But yeah, that's what's been going on for a couple, years, because I don't really think that it's just too much of this, like, really. And I noticed too, these fans too, some of the ignorant ones, they pit artists against each other, and then they don't do research on like the artists, and they don't even do research on a variety of different artists. They're only stuck on like I said, who's out right now, which is understandable, but you also want to make sure that you're familiar with other talented artists as well, so you can get to hear what they have to offer instead of this stan culture. And I like the fact that, other artists, like I said, they are taking control of their careers, and they know and see the bullshit when they see it. And like I said, the music business is something else. You gotta have thick skin. You gotta stand on your own 2 feet. You gotta fight for your art. And like I said, when one door closes, another one will open. So don't ever give up on yourself. Make sure you believe in yourself, and make sure you have the right network of people that respect you as an artist and believe in your vision. And there's nothing wrong with change and being like, to grow and evolve and adapt and experiment with your music, but stick to your guns. Cause like I said, a lot of shit that I'm saying, I don't like it right now. Like I said, even like some artists that, like I said, I do support, right? And I do like expect, like I said, them to do well, right? Of course. And then, like I said, like recently I got disappointed with like, a few artists that I was like, kind of like expecting more. I'm expecting like better from like in terms of like the production of sound, even the collaboration. But it's okay. Like I said, I'm not gonna like everything, which is fine. But for those people who do like it, okay, you like it, it's all good. I'm not gonna bash on you and hate on you. If you like it, you like it. It's all good in my book. But yeah, I just want to put that out and just share my thoughts and share what I'm feeling right now. But yeah, guys, what do you guys think about, like I said, artists being original, having their own sound? How do you guys feel about artists' sound being ripped off, and other artists, the influences is cool, but other artists should create their own sound and be original and, stop, ripping off without, and also, like, not even acknowledging and not even crediting other artists. Tell me your thoughts down below. We're going to have a good conversation because I love my followers and subscribers, and I always love like the interaction between what we got to say. So that's all I got to say. So don't be afraid to like, share, comment, subscribe down below. Don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Don't be afraid to hit that notification bell. And as always, the Super Saiyan is out, y'all. So stay tuned in the next episode of Gifted Since 92 Dragon Ball Z narrator reference. Peace. Bye bye. Super Saiyan's out.